All right, Clayton. You were just telling me about the houses, and you can just take it from wherever you think makes sense, man.
I love the whole concept of a tiny home for a person like me
Hmm.
or any person that's in a situation whether they're homeless, retired on limited income. Having a tiny home is great.
Can you
You
tell me a little bit about your situation, or as much as you
well,
like? What got you here?
I've been I came out of an orphanage when I was 4.5 years old, and I left the foster home that I was in, the adopted parents. I left them at 14, and I've been homeless since then.
Hmm.
I'm 73 and I've been homeless 58 years out of 73.
Hmm.
This is actually the first home that I can call mine.
Oh
It's not an
man.
apartment, not complex. It's not a duplex. It doesn't belong to one of my ex-wives before we married. It belongs to me. And I can't afford a $800-900 a month, sometimes $1,000 a month apartment. And usually it's kind of in a not so nice part of town, even at that cheap. If communities would think about this and put these in, this place is on its way to becoming self supporting. We pay our rent, which helps a lot with the bills and utilities. We're working on it. We've got a little small farm here. We've got, I think there's 15 and a half acres here or something like that. We've got goats and pigs. We've got a female pig just had 8 little babies. The whole community is excited about it. We've got three mama goats are getting ready to have babies. We have a hoop house where we grow our own vegetables and we market those vegetables for sale. We're learning and we're adapting to what we have. Um, we've got chickens. We're selling eggs. We sell eggs by the dozen. If you can look, put your camera over that way, you can see some babies that we raise. We've raised those chickens from babies, from baby
Hmm.
chicks, and soon they'll be big enough that we can put them off into other houses. And we've got a chicken farm back in the back, and we can sell eggs at $6 a dozen, farm fresh eggs. Those are two pecan trees. When they start budding, we can pick up pecans and sell pecans if we want to. If you'll step right here, you can see the hoop house that we've got.
The
We've
white
got
one.
tomato plants, we've got lettuce, we've got cucumbers, all growing in there. And a lot of this stuff has come from OSU Extension School. They help us out tremendously in knowledge and understanding. We have a farm manager. His name's Matt. He is excellent. He graduated from OSU. He's been instrumental in helping give us the knowledge and understanding and the inspiration to keep doing stuff like this. Uh, our animals are, there's ladies out there right now taking care of the baby pigs, and we were all involved in that. And we have people here that are in wheelchairs and they can't get out there. And we're going to take and raise these babies to where they're pets and be able to bring those to the people that can't get to them. It's therapy. Even if you retired from uh, American Airlines and you get $3,000 a month, go ahead and a little community like this would be beautiful, even for people with a lot of money.
No.
You live in a tiny home, you can have a doggone big fishing boat. Put that money someplace else, and the wife doesn't have to clean all the time. Yeah, make her happy. She's been cleaning up after you for years. Now you can downsize 30, 45 minutes, and I've got my house cleaned
Hmm.
so I can go do other things. I'm not spending hours. But the tiny home, I can go in there and everything is there. Everything I need is right there. There's plenty of living space in it, and it's very comfortable. Is you want to follow me
Sure,
in?
sure.
The airflow to the houses, because it is a tiny home, I can open up my living room windows my bedroom window, and there's a nice breeze that blows all the way through this place. Now, a couple of things that I noticed was this A-trim up here where the exhaust fan is, and the purpose of that fan is to help airflow from the AC unit into the back, into the living room. Well, just take that A-trim out up there. You can make, a little decorative cedar post, a couple of them if you want to fancy it up, but it opens the house up, makes the house look bigger, and you don't have to worry about airflow. That AC unit is going to cool this living room. Otherwise, there's a big difference in the temperature because all you got for airflow is that little fan and the door.
Yep.
And a lot of times people want to close their door.
Yeah.
So that's going to help you airflow.
Yeah.
In the kitchen, I'm a short fella. This cabinet above the refrigerator is completely useless to me. I can't use it. It'd be very simple to take it and put it over here. So it's very useful.
Yep.
Also, you can hang pots and pans under it if you want to.
Right off the bottom of it, huh?
Right off the bottom of it. Very grateful for it. Its design, the tall ceilings. You walk into an apartment and you got this ceiling 8 feet above you, you still feel like you're walking into a cubicle of some kind. This open roof concept, the windows up here, the whole design of it is very aesthetically great. Good. And I'm very pleased to have a little home like this because it's comfortable. It's nice. I don't feel like I'm enclosed. I feel like it's a neat little home.
Good.
And it makes me have a sense of self-respect and dignity about myself, which a lot of homeless people don't have anymore. And people that are retired and living on a limited income, if they're having to live on housing authority, they may get stuck in an apartment complex somewhere that's not near as nice as this.
Yeah. And
your neighbors may not be the quality. And the people that build these homes and the use of these homes is incredibly self-respected building. We can have a lot of self-respect in ourselves. And we try to pass that on to the community. And having a small home like this is mine. I can't be evicted unless I get stupid, which I don't want to lose it. That's the thing about it. Once you get here, I don't want to lose this place. I really don't. And I'm very happy and pleased that you guys built it the way you built it, because it does give me a sense of love and respect for where I live.
What about, we get a lot of conversations about this LP material instead of drywall, like,
oh no, stay with this, because a lot of us, we can't afford big fancy picture hangers and stuff. I'm sorry, we have a penny nail that we drive in. This will hold it without us putting a bunch of holes in sheetrock that's got to be mended all the time. I have to clean these walls much. They don't get scraped up.
Yeah.
Because this stuff is very durable.
Yeah.
And if it does, a little paint, it's done. You're not cutting sheetrock and pasting and gluing things together. In the kitchen, it's a very functioning backsplash.
Yeah. Good.
If I get grease on it, I got some cleaner, it'll take it right off.
Okay.
And it doesn't take the paint off.
No.
So
awesome.
Yeah, I have a splash screen through the whole house, really.
Yeah.
So it's the building materials is very functional. The trim is very functional.
Nice box too. That's cool.
All right, man. I'm going to close it up. Thank you so much for the advice.
Hey, you're very welcome. And I don't know what your partner's name is, but you got a good partner. You need to listen to him and my ideas. Save you money.
Thanks, man.
Well, my days consisted of before I met you and your business, I was living in my truck and my car. for about 2.5 going on 3 years. And I met your brother-in-law and told me that he had a sister that just started a new business making tiny homes, and if I was interested with a full-time job. And he introduced me to your wife, and well, she gave me the address, and I came up here to the shop here, and things has not looked different since in my life. I'm not worried about a job. I've been consistent because you gave me a chance to change. A lot of people out there on the streets don't understand that this is when you get down, you know, it kind of carries a bad reflection on what's going on in your life. And different places has tried to give people help, but they didn't know how to do it. With this business, I've met people that is on the same accord as me, trying to better their life. We constructed a new beginning, and people willing to work with you to give you a chance, you know, not just on you beating about talking about how bad you are, what you did in the past or anything, but from the time I met you, it was all new. But you gave me an outlook of something greater than what was going on in my life, worrying about a job day to day, you know. And I tell you, the people here at Prime Craftsman Homes, they did nothing but show me love. I've been sick with pneumonia last year, you know, and y'all worked through with me, you know, helped me out, didn't say I lost my job because I was off for a week, you know, come by, gave me medicine when I needed it, you know, and a place to stay. And from then on, I've learned how to manage my money, my checks, and y'all always paid me on time, you know, and y'all gave me love. And that's what a lot of people don't know. There's people out there on the streets that's homeless, you know, they having it rough and they give up, you know what I mean? They ain't ran across the right organization to give you love and to trust you and show you and tell you things of God. This company is based upon a God organization. You know, people here believes in God. Everybody here has probably been through something and has a second chance. And see, if you worshiping God, He ain't never lost at all. And if you focus upon Him, you can't go wrong. That's one thing I know for sure. Well, one thing since I've been here working, I've seen growth not only in myself in this business, and it's positive. You know, it's a need for housing out there in the world, in the United States. A lot of homeless people. You know, and so this is a job that's going to be needed, and it gives me something to look forward to. Plus, to see this finished product, the way we do it. You know, we don't cut no corners, you know. We do it the same way, each house, whatever it does, when it's inspected, if it needs to be replaced or fixed, we do that. We got a good product out here, so I know it's gonna go far. You know what I mean? I wanna be part of that. My personal goal is to get me a piece of property or something like that and put me maybe a house or two on that property, you know, to live in and to rent out, you know, because this actually is, I think, a new way of America growing and efficiently too. You know, to save you on money. The product we use is the best, and we don't cut no corners. And we could be the stage company for the tiny houses in America. You know, and to be part of that, that's what I lead. Well, one thing for sure, I've got into the church more than I ever have in my life. And it's not just because I'm around people that's for God. A lot of it, I think, is through the program, the Hope program, that y'all help with. You know, the people that come from the Hope Center up here, you know, to see what they have been going through, and then they in a program that, you know what I mean, it's not just a need, but it's a help. It's helped me. I've been going to church um, constantly since I've been here. I've missed one service, and I've been here almost going on 2 years.
So you said that increased whenever you got here?
Yes, yeah. To see, I don't know, for some reason, the people that I met here, you know, see, You're a product of your environment. You know, you learn what you see and what you're around. And these people around here, man, you know, they show. I look at David, you know, Dave got the love of God in him so much now, man. You know, when I first met him, he's kind of, you know what I mean? We used to kind of get into it, but man, that guy, and he smile all the time. He don't say anything, nothing but positive. These kind of things like that, man, it's a hurting world out there. We need more of it. And this job here really, it showed me, you know, God is really real. You know, it's something that I asked God for out there in that field that I used to live in. Lord, I want before I die to be in the construction field that I was taught to be in, and to be part of something that's good, something I know that's gonna last. And I do believe this company, if it stays the way it is, you know what I mean, and the way it's operating, it's gonna grow and help others. Well, for one, it has given me something to occupy my time when I wasn't doing nothing. It keeps me going to work every day, you know what I mean, knowing I got a job tomorrow, Monday through Friday, you know what I mean, working, you know, from 6 in the morning. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I leave the house at 4:30. I get here the first one, usually get here in the morning, sit out there in the parking lot until somebody else comes, because that's how excited I am for the job. I don't want to be late, you know what I mean? I want to keep this job. It's something that I did most of my life, but this is the longest since I was young that I stayed on the job, and that, that's a positive goal there by itself. Not only that, it's cleared my mind. I don't go out there seeking all that stuff that I used to do. I stopped smoking. I don't drink. 2.5 years I've been clean and sober. I haven't did anything. People ask me, hey, and then you know the people that I used to hang around, you find out, you know what I mean, that they don't even want to be around you no more. You know, they fall off. You know what I mean, and you can meet other people. And being a sober Christian and living and working like a normal person, it ain't a bad thing, for real. And keep money in my pocket too. I ain't never had to ask nobody for nothing. I ain't when I have to panhandle or anything. I'm being honest, you know, for real. And it's great, man, you know, for real. And I see the fruit of it, you know. At least this is the way, if I'm going to leave this earth, I want to leave out positive. And I've been doing some positive stuff, I do believe.
Amen. I agree. All right. Looking back to where you were when you first got here and where you are now, how has your outlook on hope for the future changed? And what's made the biggest difference for you?
I see God more than I ever have in my life. And I'm telling you, for some reason, when I first came up here, I was scared. I thought everything's gonna be like it used to be. You know, man, work here for a week or two a week, and then it's go on down the road. You know what I mean? But you know, I started going to bed on time. I started, you know, waking up on time, and I see that this is something that, hey, if I had been doing this 20 years ago, where I would be at now. So things is, whoever gets out there and they get down and out, they get down on something that's not for them, don't give up. Because you know, when you give up, you ask for defeat. God didn't make nothing that he can't work, he can't do. He ain't lost at all ever. And you focus upon God, you know, you can only do so much. But go to your secret place and you talk to God and ask God, God help me. Show me what I need to do. Help me to be here on this job, to do better, to listen, and don't give up. It's not going to have a perfect day every day. You know what I mean? But get through it. You know what I mean? When you make one step, God will make two. If you seeking his face and you ain't trying to do it just for yourself, if you got to put something to put into it, you know what I mean? Some people got families. I don't have any kids. I got 3 sisters and a brother that's alive, you know, and that's basically my family. You know what I mean? And I say to myself, you know, hey, I'm not all alone, and I'm doing something correct. For when I do leave this earth, that I'm leaving something here for somebody, you know, at least a job. You know what I mean? Somebody can say, hey, remember that guy that Gary? You know, he wasn't all a bad guy at all. You know what I mean? I've made mistakes, but you know, the end's never. As long as you face reality that, hey, you can change, you got something, and you got some people behind you what's got me good is the company that I'm working for. They never say, "Oh, you can't do this." You know what I mean? They lifted me up when I was down. That's the key. That's why I know this company is gonna be great. Yeah, I came up with an idea, and it's coming true, and I know that. And these tiny homes is just perfect. You know, they're perfect. They're efficient. You know what I mean? And they're new. Everything's up to date. What can you ask for? And this is a good opportunity because I see a lot of people out there. And I say to myself, you know, during the time that I was homeless, I didn't push a cart, you know, and but there's so many people out there pushing carts, and these people are healthy. They got to be healthy to walk as much as they do. You know what I mean? And it's to deal with the elements. So, you know, I think it's just them getting a mindset, an opportunity, and proof in the pudding that this is working. You say, hey, okay, I can try this, I can do this, and a change, because that's what people don't understand. A change to me was, oh, getting another $100 here, finding a little small job to do here to last me a day or two to get me some money for gas, you know what I mean, or something to eat, you know, basic needs just to survive. But it's more than surviving. He made us here to do his will, to spread his will. And see, you got a program going on right now, man. Seriously. This right here, you know how many people you've helped? I don't know how y'all came up with the idea. How y'all come up with the idea? You and your wife. But what I'm gonna tell y'all something. Y'all the forerunners of this here, man. So y'all doing something gonna get blessed anyway. So y'all took a step forward on something that I don't know who thought of it. You, her, but together, you know what I mean, who sent y'all the idea, man, but it works, man. I'm telling you seriously, and it's needed. It's needed, bro. It's really needed. So man, God's got his eyes on y'all. Yeah. He got y'all, I mean seriously, man. Honestly, because y'all doing something, man. I don't know how. I've been willing to ask you, man. How'd you come up with that idea? You came up with that idea. There's a lot of people, you know what, don't really know. I think you might have the key to what's going on in the future, you know, for real.
Do you think about our choice to, like, have you heard me say the problem is the solution? So taking people that are down on their luck, they're dealing with substance abuse, homelessness, incarceration, whatever, and those being the people that are going to fix the problems, like the affordable housing problems, community, just
Because
rebuilding this country.
you know what? Because you know what? It goes with the word of God. The first should be last, and the last should be first. You know, you using that as a that's that's God telling you something. You know, because they all gonna be the ones that people have forgotten. That think that they're gonna be the ones that's gonna really stand in the trenches when it's needed. And this might be because I'm saying to myself, the deterioration of the homeless in America, man, has just really gotten bad in the last 10 to 15 years to the point that it is now. And it's not just a city problem now, a state problem. It's this country's problem. It's a bad problem too. And we've been talking about everything, fixing America, making America great more than anything, but bringing the real problem that's making America not great to the table and dealing with it directly. And it takes not just one person to do this. The President of the United States can't do it. It takes all of us because it's something that we've been doing that ain't people don't understand. It couldn't have got this bad this fast. It's not only a drug problem, but it's a situation that I think it's a concern of the American people coming together and say, hold on here. Enough is enough. We can do something about this. We can go to the moon, COVID, vaccine, COVID, just like that. Man, we can figure this one out. You got the problem. You got the answer too. That's all I can say. You have, man. You came up with the answer. I mean, for real. The tiny homes in a production like this here,
What causes, say, heroin addiction? This is a really stupid question, right? It's obvious, we all know it. Heroin causes heroin addiction. Here's how it works. If you use heroin for 20 days, by day 21, your body would physically crave the drug ferociously because there are chemical hooks in the drug. That's what addiction means. But there's a catch. Almost everything we think we know about addiction is wrong. If you, for example, break your hip, you'll be taken to a hospital and you'll be given loads of diamorphine for weeks or even months. Diamorphine is heroin. It's in fact much stronger heroin than any addict can get on the street because it's not contaminated by all the stuff drug dealers dilute it with. There are people near you being given loads of deluxe heroin in hospitals right now, so at least some of them should become addicts. But this has been closely studied. It doesn't happen. Your grandmother wasn't turned into a junkie by her hip replacement. Why is that? Our current theory of addiction comes in part from a series of experiments that were carried out earlier in the 20th century. The experiment is simple. You take a rat and put it in a cage with 2 water bottles. One is just water, the other is water laced with heroin or cocaine. Almost every time you run this experiment, the rat will become obsessed with the drugged water and keep coming back for more and more until it kills itself. But in the 1970s, Bruce Alexander, a professor of psychology, noticed something odd about this experiment. The rat is put in the cage all alone. It has nothing to do but take the drugs. What would happen, he wondered, if we tried this differently? So he built Rat Park, which is basically heaven for rats. It's a lush cage where the rats would have colored balls, tunnels to scamper down, plenty of friends to play with, and they could have loads of sex. Everything a rat about town could want. And they would have the drugged water and the normal water bottles. But here's the fascinating thing. In Rat Park, rats hardly ever use the drugged water. None of them ever use it compulsively. None of them ever overdose. But maybe this is a quirk of rats, right? Well, helpfully, there was a human experiment along the same lines, the Vietnam War. 20% of American troops in Vietnam were using a lot of heroin. People back home were really panicked because they thought there would be hundreds of thousands of junkies on the streets of the United States when the war was over. But a study followed the soldiers home and found something striking. They didn't go to rehab. They didn't even go into withdrawal. 95% of them just stopped after they got home. If you believe the old theory of addiction, that makes no sense. But if you believe Professor Alexander's theory, it makes perfect sense. Because if you're put into a horrific jungle in a foreign country where you don't want to be, and you could be forced to kill or die at any moment, doing heroin is a great way to spend your time. But if you go back to your nice home with your friends and your family, it's the equivalent of being taken out of that first cage and put into a human rat park. It's not the chemicals, it's your cage. We need to think about addiction differently. Human beings have an innate need to bond and connect. When we are happy and healthy, we will bond with the people around us. But when we can't, because we're traumatized, isolated, or beaten down by life, we will bond with something that gives us some sense of relief. It might be endlessly checking a smartphone, it might be pornography, video games, Reddit, gambling, or it might be cocaine. But we will bond with something because that is our human nature. The path out of unhealthy bonds is to form healthy bonds, to be connected to people you want to be present with. Addiction is just one symptom of the crisis of disconnection that's happening all around us. We all feel it. Since the 1950s, the average number of close friends an American has been steadily declining. At the same time, the amount of floor space in their homes has been steadily increasing. To choose floor space over friends, to choose stuff over connection. The war on drugs we've been fighting for almost a century now has made everything worse. Instead of helping people heal and getting their life together, we have cast them out from society. We have made it harder for them to get jobs and become stable. We take benefits and support away from them if we catch them with drugs. We throw them in prison cells, which are literally cages. We put people who are not well in a situation that makes them feel worse and hate them for not recovering. For too long, we've talked only about individual recovery from addiction. But we need now to talk about social recovery, because something has gone wrong with us as a group. We have to build a society that looks a lot more like Rat Park and a lot less like those isolated cages. We are going to have to change the unnatural way we live and rediscover each other. The opposite of addiction is not sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection. What causes sex?